Howdy mates, how are we all doing today? It is Saturday, March 26th, 2022, and I gotta say, it's so crazy to believe that March is almost over already. That absolutely baffles me. This month went by really fast. So, I'm actually out for a revisit over at the Lemon Bay Environmental Park in Old Englewood. I just wanted to revisit because there were still some portions of the park that I never had a chance to visit last time. And with that being said, today's weather is absolutely incredible. And I say that because we did have a recent cold front that did pass through. So right now, the air just feels very, what you call, brisk. And that's just simply because, as I mentioned the other day, I mentioned about the term dew point. So right now, I don't know what the exact dew point is right now, but it is fair to say that the dew point is a lot lower. I'm going to guess right off the top of my head that it's probably in the 40s or 50s. That's just a wild guess. So that means it has to be really cool outside for the water vapor in the atmosphere to basically condensate. So that's why it feels cooler outside. And this doesn't just apply to a subtropical climate. This applies to anywhere in the world. But Lemon Bay Environmental Park is actually a very casual park. It's right next to the Lemon Bay, hence the name. And mostly like what we're walking through right now is Pine Flatwood. So like to my left here, we've got the classic slash pine. I believe slash pine gets its name from the fact that when you look at the bark close enough, they look like slashes. And with that being said, slash pine, especially down here in Florida, has a very rich history. You figure back in the 1800s, going into the 1900s, slash pine was a very excellent source for something called turpentine. And when you hear the word turpentine, some of you may be well aware that that's like a main component that makes up gum, for example. That's one of a few uses. I believe turpentine was also used in construction as well. And that's another thing too. Slash pine, because most conifers have sort of like a rot-resistant wood. Slash pine was actually very useful for building homes. And in a sense, it still is to this day. Oh wow, that's really cool. Dang, I wish I could show you guys this, but my phone, while I film, doesn't allow me the capacity to zoom in. But towards the top of this, what you call snag tree, that's just a fancy way of saying a dead tree, towards the top of it, there are 3 cavities. And those cavities, they refer to basically holes in the tree itself. So those cavities were actually created by woodpeckers. at some point, because woodpeckers really like to feed on insects and grubs that reside in a dead tree. That's why woodpeckers like to peck the wood. I couldn't think of a better way to say it, because they are looking for food. And in a sense, they kind of are trying to find a home in addition. But the thing is, what happens is the cavities can actually be used by any other forms of wildlife. Sometimes you may even find owls in them too, just depending on the size of the cavity itself. But the thing is too, what you do need to note is woodpeckers in general, this is speaking on behalf of most species of woodpecker, they usually go after dead trees for a reason. Because for their beaks, it's a lot easier for them. Since the tree is already in the process of decaying, the heartwood and even the bark becomes much more soft. Has like a sponge-like texture. But some woodpeckers still even go after live trees in addition. So that's why I said I'm speaking on behalf of most, but not all. But yeah, in these Pine Flatwoods, you are bound to find all forms of wildlife out here, whether they be mammals, birds, reptiles, and even amphibians too. Sometimes you just have to keep out a good eye. So, I think one piece of wildlife I have seen so far today during my visit was the gopher tortoise, which is a reptile. However, though, it was in its burrow, so you couldn't quite see it right away. You kind of had to really look into the burrow. So, that's an amazing thing about nature too, is you never know what to anticipate when you go out on these little excursions. So, always go out while you can. It's a lot better than sitting in your house all day. Just saying. And sometimes you don't always, and well, this is my opinion anyways, you don't always need to be with someone either. Sometimes it's okay to be completely on your own. So even if you decide to, it's fine. I've done it for most of my life. So honestly, it doesn't really bother me that much. I try to not take it too personally, because usually when you do, that's when it drives you crazy. And that defeats the purpose of going out on these excursions. So, alright, you guys, enjoy your Saturday. Take care, and journey on a journey is once again outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.